the investigation into the allegations that the Russian vessel Lady R that docked at a naval base in Simonstown in the Western Cape has been concluded. SABC News has reliably learnt that those who made the allegations have not been able to present evidence before the commission that was investigating the matter. Meanwhile, calls are mounting that US Ambassador Rueben Brigety, who stated he would bet his life that South African weapons were loaded onto the Russian vessel, must be fired or recalled. Now, the Campaign for Free Expression has, however, called on President Cyril Ramaphosa to release the complete report regarding the alleged loading of the arms onto the Russian cargo ship Lady R in Simonstown. Now, let's discuss this further. We're now joined by Professor Anton Harber from the Campaign for Free Expression's Executive Director. Prof, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Now, the presidency has maintained that, the panel's work will not be made public due to issues concerning national security and classified information. Firstly, your organization wrote to Judge Mojapelo, emphasizing that the matters is of public interest and importance for allowing the public participation. What is your reaction, firstly, to the conclusion of the report and also your response to the presidency?
So let me say it's a very good thing that they've done this report, and it's a very good thing that they've done it relatively quickly. But it's a very important report because it has serious implications for national security and for foreign policy. And if it's to have credibility and standing, then it can't really be done in secret. We can't just be told the conclusions. The president, we wrote to Judge Mojapelo and to the presidency to ask that any hearings or interviews be open, and that when the report is available, it be published in full. They have said that they have national security concerns and that they will assess how much and what they can and should release. And while I accept that if there's national security issues, that material could be redacted, I do think that if we are to accept the credibility and standing of this report, we need to see the evidence. We need to see what lies behind it and not just be told its conclusions.
As a CFE, just how serious were these allegations for you, particularly?
I'm sorry,
Can you hear me, Prof?
I lost you there for a minute.
All right, I was saying, as a CFE, just how serious were these allegations for South Africa, particularly if we start to look at the international relations implications?
Oh, very serious. It could fundamentally affect South Africa's relationship with a key partner, the USA. It goes fundamentally to the honesty and position of the government itself, who had denied that arms were being loaded onto the ship, and the American ambassador suggested that it had happened. So it's of great significance, particularly in relation to our foreign relationships.
How concerned are you then? There are these, allegations, in fact, that those that made the allegations about this, of course, we know that the US Ambassador Rueben Brigety was the one that first released this. We are hearing that, of course, that those who made these allegations are now not wanting to come before the commission that is investigating the matter.
Well, you see, that's part of the reason we need to see the full report. We need to know what evidence he did or didn't bring to the table. And I think that's important to try and understand it. I've no doubt that if the report concludes, as has been reported, that arms were not loaded onto the ship at Simonstown, then it has severe implications for the position of the ambassador and South Africa's relations with the embassy and with the USA.
In terms of accountability, just around the relations, in fact, with Russia, and not accountability, but just transparency from government side, how well do you think they could have done, particularly as we know that the BRICS summit is coming up and a lot of issues will still need to be dealt with?
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding your question. How well could what be done?
So in other words, how South Africa has dealt with this particular matter, but also how South Africa has dealt with its relationship with Russia. Could it have been more transparent with the country, particularly because we are going to be hosting the BRICS nation, the BRICS summit soon?
Oh, yes. I think the fact that the government doesn't clearly speak out about, defend in public, and the president in particular doesn't directly engage with the media to debate relationships with Russia and with the US, I think this is a major drawback and a key factor in it not being handled well. The South African government is arguing that it's taking a neutral position, but I don't think it's argued it, it's articulated it, it's defended it strongly and in public. So I think that's unfortunate. You know, this business about transparency, it isn't a nice to have. It's a constitutional obligation, and it's fundamental to the credibility of the report. So it's not just we saying it would be a good thing to do and a nice thing to have. We're saying it's a constitutional responsibility.